All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the WatchDog on Wall Street podcast. And we've got the economic numbers we got to go through today. That's the big story. U.S. supplier prices, they moderated, up 7.4%. The PPI from a year earlier, down from the 11.7% peak that we saw back in March, even though they expected it to moderate a little bit more. They expected it to come down a little bit more, and it did not. And again, I'm looking at the internals of these numbers. Even ex food and energy was a little bit hotter than expected, and a lot of that was on the service side. And again, the conversation out there is, what is the Fed going to do? Does this mean that the Fed might they raise 75 basis points, or is it going to be 50 and they're going to keep it higher for a longer period of time? And I'm watching all of these analysts and sheep out there with their thinking. It's got freaking horse blinders on. The Fed can't fix this. I was thinking of the television show MacGyver. Where MacGyver would take some duct tape and some bubble gum and come up with something to, escape, they were trapped somewhere, whatever it may be. The Fed is not MacGyver. The Fed is very much a blunt instrument. And the Fed can't fix these problems. We're seeing certain things come down. Actually, used car prices collapsing most on record. And again, that's going to go even further. It's going to get worse instead of better, especially if Carvana has to go into bankruptcy and they have to start liquidating their inventory, which is massive. They bought that auction house. It's going to definitely change the dynamic there. But I got the breakdown here. Inflation breakdown for this is for October. This is for October. And again, it's the best numbers that I have right now, breaking it down piece by piece. 1 year. Okay, year over year price changes from October. Eggs are up 43%. Airfare up 42%. I was blown away. I really was. I was like, maybe we'll, the family, maybe we'll get away, go for a few days over, Christmas holiday somewhere. And it's cheaper to fly to Europe than it is to fly to the Caribbean. I mean, it's off the charts expensive. Butter and margin is up 33% year over year. Health insurance up 20%. Gasoline up 18%. Coffee up 15%. Pet food up 15%. Chickens, poultry up 15%, bread up 15%, milk up 15%, frozen fruits and vegetables up 15%, electricity up 15%, cheese up 12%. I'll go right on down the list. Numbers are very high. So, and these remind you, these are things that people need to live on. Things that people need to live on. Other stuff, motor vehicle insurance up 10%, baby food up 11%. But let's go down to things that haven't gone up in price. Again, my longtime listeners, they know I've been banging this drum for a long period of time. Yeah, the BS that they do with inflation on a regular basis. Inflation has been with us, and it's been with us prior to the past couple of years. There's no doubt it's gone parabolic, but it's been with us. And I always talk about the bare necessities, the things that we need to live on. Televisions are down 17% year over year. Admissions to sporting events are down 18%. Smartphones are down 23%. Computers down 4%. Again, things great. You have to buy them from time to time. It's great we don't have to pay as much, but you can't eat them. Can't eat a smartphone, can't eat a TV as of yet. Apple hasn't come up with the edible television. Okay, let's think out. That phrase, think outside the box. Why don't we use Robert Frost? Why don't we do the road not taken? Again, this is why I could never be in positions of power. I can't censor. I don't care what the powers that be think. I wish the people at the Fed, and again, I don't even know if they. You gotta hope that they understand this. Would come out and say, because again, part of the inflation numbers has to do with tight labor market, and pay is up. It's not keeping up with inflation, but it's up. And there's the fears out there of some sort of wage spiral. You want to start getting these numbers down. Let me tell you something the Fed can't do. The Fed cannot write immigration reform. They can't. They cannot. They can have nothing to do with immigration. That's not part of what the Fed can do. But Washington could. Democrats and Republicans can get together with some sort of compromise. And we're going to spend some time talking about it this weekend on the radio show. We're going to go back to Maria Salazar's proposal, the Dignity Act, and what that involves. It's common sense stuff. Common sense. We have jobs that we need to fill here in the United States. You want inflation to come down, fill them. Fill them. And you're gonna get the elephants out there. We got a lot of Americans that are getting paid not to work. No shit, Sherlock. You played a part of that as well. Okay? And if you think that you're getting these people off the couch that you've been paying to sit on the couch for an extended period of time, good luck with that. Good luck with that. You better go with the terrain. And again, I have written pieces about this, studied this. Cato Institute has done work on this. You get people addicted to handouts and giveaways. It's like them getting addicted to a drug. It's just that simple. You're getting them addicted to a drug. You think you're going to get them off? And an article I wrote about this was fascinating. They went back to the same place in West Virginia where LBJ launched his Great Society program. This is probably 2014, 15, 16. I can't remember. And they were talking with the school teachers, and the school teachers there in the local schools. And things hadn't changed there, but he's still looking for some handout. And the teachers were talking about how kids are looking to get out of school and can't wait to start getting their first government check. Okay? This is what happens. This is what happens. You start doing this. You have to break it at some point in time. Part of the Dignity Act, which is great, is you can't. If you want to be a part of this, you want to get your papers, you want to have the ability to work here in the United States. Guess what? You can't accept any sort of means test, can't get any sort of entitlements, any sort of handouts, any sort of giveaways. That's it. I mean, we can try to be pure in our, I guess you want to talk about our, right or left wing philosophical principles, but it's not going to get anything done. I'd like to get these people back to work too, but again, I don't see that happen. To me, this seems like a much better way to go. It's my opinion. And in the same sense, you got compromise in there where guess what? You can, do what we can to, stop the flow of drugs, work on the border, e-verify, all of these things that are involved. Fed can't do any of that. Washington can. Washington can. This is something that needs to get done. Would this help when it comes to inflation? Absolutely. Anyway, saw this story. This is Vanguard put out. They said about 0.5% of workers participating in a 401k plan took a hardship distribution in October. While a relatively small percentage, it's the largest share on record dating to 2004. And they're talking about whether or not inflation has played a role in all of this. Well, maybe, but I think in a different way. I think that, many people, they don't want to, and it's from my opinion and from my observations and from my knowledge, and I know it's anecdotal, but we see quite a lot here on the program. We're actually on the ground rather than the people in the Ivy Towers and the people in Washington, D.C., and in fact, many of the people on Wall Street. I think many younger people out there, seeing the price of things go up, and they don't want to adjust their lifestyle. And rather than adjust their lifestyle, they'll come up with some way to have a hardship withdrawal and still go on that vacation and still buy the Christmas gifts that they want to get. And if you don't think that that's a part of it, it most certainly is. It's a huge part of it. Now, it's saying that that's in all cases, but it's certainly a part of that as well. Kirsten Sinema has, I don't know if you remember this. This was Limbaugh called him. This was during the Bush became president, first term. Remember Jim Jeffords from Vermont, right? Was it Vermont? Jumpin' Jim Jeffords, he called him. And Jim Jeffords threw the Senate into a different balance, left the Republican Party, and became an independent. Kirsten Sinema doing the same thing. She's not going to caucus with the Republicans, so it doesn't really change that dynamic. But again, it's interesting. Interesting to see. So what was it? It's three. Got Agnes Young, Bernie Sanders, and Sinema that are independents. Again, make things a little bit more difficult on Chuck Schumer. The politics that we're going to see moving forward, everybody's got their underwear in a bunch in the elephant side of the ring, worried about who the next speaker is going to be and whether or not there's going to be pushback on Kevin McCarthy and how that could be terrible. Whatever. Listen, we talked about this yesterday here on the program, talked about government spending and whether or not the elephants will actually do what they say they're going to do. We'll see, but I'm not holding my breath. Okay, this has to be one of the dumbest. I mean, New York City they've completely outdone themselves with this proposal here. New York City is proposing a bill now. Now follow along with this. That would ban companies from firing workers without good reason or just cause. Can you define, good reason or just cause? Can you? I've had some interactions as of late at New York City airports with Starbucks workers where they were so incompetent, it was so bad, I would have fired them all. Yeah, I would have gotten rid of them all. Would have. The thing is, can you do that? This is such an opening for tort attorneys and lawsuits and going after small business. Let's say you own a fast food type establishment. You're going to see something like this and you fire somebody for screwing up and you got to worry that you're going to have to, retain a lawyer the next day because this person said I wasn't justly fired. Screw you. It's your business. If it's your business, you should be able to fire whoever the hell you want to fire at any point in time. Just cause. Yeah. This new bill would expand on a pair of laws which took effect in July of 2021, which protected non-union private sector fast food workers. The fast food bill has so far withstand legal challenges from business groups. They're appealing the ruling. This is funny. They're saying that this is, how can families, pull out your smallest little violin. How can families feel economically safe and secure and build futures here in the city when they don't know whether they'll be fired on a whim tomorrow? That's, again, people. I mean, this is life. Sometimes you're going to get hired, sometimes you're going to get fired. Businesses might have to let go of workers because guess what? The numbers aren't adding up and business is slow. Who in their right mind is going to honestly want to start a business with these types of conditions? Do you understand the costs that are involved? Do you understand how inflationary this is? I'm talking about inflation. This is government regulations causing greater inflation. You own one of these establishments, you're going to have to set aside money for the inevitable legal fees that you're going to have to pay down the road. It's pathetic and sad, quite frankly. Okay, yes, Lena Khan strikes. Lena Khan is like she's at a central casting for a character out of Atlas Shrugged, and one of the government little fools out there looking to destroy business. Yeah, who is John Galt? The FTC is suing to block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Okay. I was thinking about this and Activision popped up. Now, first and foremost, okay, I understand this is a big business. I'm not a gamer. I can't recall the last time I picked up one of their controllers. Really, I can't. I'm not into that. When I was a kid, I was younger. I remember Activision had some pretty popular games that we didn't have access to. We had a ColecoVision at our house, and Activision. I remember it was Pitfall was the game. But remember this? And it was they made games for Atari, and eventually they had an Atari adapter for the ColecoVision. All this stuff. It worked. It's way out because these companies wanted to make money. The concern is that Microsoft is going to limit the availability of certain games, and only allow them to be played on their hardware, right? Xbox. Only can play it on the Xbox and Sony PlayStation. And does Nintendo have any more? I don't even know. Anyway, neither here nor there. So what? So what? Again, what does that matter? Yeah, you know how certain companies do this. Caterpillar now. Caterpillar. Heavy machinery, equipment. You want to fix it, you have to go to Caterpillar to fix it. You can't have outside mechanics. That's happening more and more with automobiles. You think anybody can fix your Tesla? What about Apple? Apple hardware. You can't. You got to take that thing to Apple. They got special tools that only they can open up the entire thing. That was one of Steve Jobs' things. He couldn't stand the fact that people were tinkering with his original computers. He wanted to get away from all of that. Anyway, I don't understand why this matters. Again, if they decide to do this, or make it more expensive for somebody on Sony's PlayStation to buy Call of Duty or whatever the hell is popular at that point in time. So what? So can't somebody else come and make a different game for Sony? Can't Sony do the same thing? Again, this is gaming, but come on already. I mean, I don't understand the big deal. I really don't. I really don't. But the FTC, they got to find reason for their existence, and I guess that's what they're doing right now. Anyway, yes, the Twitter soap opera, as the Twitter turns. Actually, you know what? I don't watch reality TV, but if they had a reality TV show based upon what's going on behind the scenes at Twitter right now, that would be freaking awesome. That would be awesome. All right, let's go through the latest on the Twitter. Elon Musk is set to remove 1.5 billion Twitter accounts. Yeah, he's going to remove them. People who haven't logged on, he's obviously identified bots, various different things. Good. They should have done this ages ago. Also a neat feature that they're going to be adding, which is going to actually show the amount of views of individuals' tweets, kind of like they do on YouTube with videos. Mention this as well. They got another release of the Twitter files. And yes, the prior administration over at Twitter was basically pointing out certain people that they wanted to suppress, and they did, even though they said they didn't. In particular, Dan Bongino, conservative talk show host on Fox all the time. Stanford University's anti-COVID lockdown advocate, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, was shut down, slowed his stuff down. And Charlie Kirk, just ever right-wing guy, they were on a blacklist. They were on a Twitter blacklist because they didn't like what they had to say, and they basically stamped out the views. Again, making this stuff go away is a great thing. It is. There was a Rob Wiesenthal did a editorial Wall Street Journal talking about how what Musk is doing over at Twitter right now and firing all these workers. And we've had this conversation here in the past, talking about good firings and bad firings. But when bad firing is when you're firing people, your business is bad, you screwed up, economy's bad, and you have to fire people, not because you want to, because you have to, because the economics don't work anymore. I gave the example of the economics of the grocery store in Godfather 2. Back when young Vito Corleone was fired, they had to fire him from the grocery store because Don Fanucci made the grocery store owner hire his nephew. Couldn't afford to have two. That's a bad firing. Good firings is when you get rid of shit. When I'm talking about shit, I'm talking shit employees. Okay, we all know who they are. Okay, they hang on for an extended period of time. You get bureaucracies that are built up in businesses all the time. And again, you go back to the movie Office Space, the Bobs there. What exactly do you say you do here? And you get rid of this type of bureaucracy. You make these companies lean, mean fighting machines. Met with Elon Musk actually saying, "Hey, we're going to put sleeping quarters in our offices in San Francisco for the people who really want to work." Good things are going to happen. Good things are going to happen. Companies can become bloated like government. And trust me, I know bloated government. I know it. I grew up in Albany, New York. Okay, I grew up in Albany, New York, when a large swath of the people in the Albany County area, their dreams were graduating from high school, maybe getting maybe going to college, but then eventually getting a job working for the state. Personally, I'd rather stick a hot poker in my eye, but hey, to each his own. To each his own. But again, you see, all the waste, all nonsense, nothing gets done. Nothing gets done. You have these bloated bureaucracies in government. You have them in corporations as well. Quickly on this one. This is it kind of goes along with bureaucracies and what necessity can do. As they say, necessity is the mother of invention. There was, and I don't know, and I should have written it down. I don't have it in front of me. A phenomenal article in the Wall Street Journal talking about it's Germany and what they're doing right now to basically get LNG, liquefied natural gas ports ready to go. And they were told that this one liquefied natural gas port would take 5 years. 5 years. And again, it normally would, under usual government regulations and circumstances and making sure that everybody gets paid along the way, it would have taken 5 years. They're getting it done in 6 months. And obviously there's some luck involved with this, but again, difficulty in procurement because of supply chains and finding the right things. The story is fascinating. It's amazing. It's amazing what can get done when you get bloated bureaucracy out of the way. And they may get a 5-year project done in 6 months. Meanwhile, again, we have the tragedy on 9/11. How long did it take? They're still not done. They're still not done fixing the Trade Center area down there. Still. Still, it's 2022, almost 2023. They're still not done doing that. That used to be the ongoing joke in New York City, the West Side Highway. 70 some odd years, Second Avenue subway. It's all horse manure, people. And the same thing can happen in companies because people want to hold on to their jobs. Okay, you get rid of all that crap. Again, you make your business lean, you're going to be successful. Anyway, one more before we go today. White House is sending, it's not chump change, $36 billion. $36 billion to save the Central States Pension Fund. It's one of the biggest and most troubled funds that manages the pensions of over 350,000 union workers and retirees. Biden promised $86 billion to troubled multi-employer pension funds. This was in the American Rescue Plan. They're talking about all these plans have fallen on hard times. Blue collar industries are shrinking. Bullshit. we again, go read my stuff. Okay, we told you this was going to happen. I mean, it's not difficult. It's not difficult. You can see the demographic changes here in this country. You can see the mismanagement of these pension funds. You can see the fact that they make promises and they don't fund these things properly. Again, as taxpayers, how do you feel about this? Will this not encourage more bailouts, more handouts, more giveaways? And listen, guys, I'm a compassionate guy too. Okay, I get it, but at some point in time, anybody lose their job over this? Anybody held responsible over this? Any changes being made when it comes to this? Yeah, I don't get any damn bailout. You get any bailouts out there? You getting any handouts, any giveaways? And this is mismanagement. Shouldn't you clean house? You're talking billions of dollars of taxpayer money. Just saying. Something to think about. WatchDog on WallStreet.com. WatchDog on WallStreet.com. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. We'll see you.